right, now I'm going to show you how to draw a see-through cube. The classic way I've seen students do something like this, where they draw a square inside of a square, and then they connect the corners like that and make it look transparent. And that it does look like a transparent cube, and it's three-dimensional, but it doesn't follow the rules of perspective because we're not actually lining up any of these lines to the correct vanishing point, which means it'll look a little bit wonky all over the place if it's not all to the same point. So let's say you have a solid cube and you want to make it transparent. The first step is to connect that last corner that we haven't connected yet to the vanishing point with a dotted dashed or otherwise a light line that you can erase later. And I'm going to make it just a little bit closer so that we can have more of a guideline to go off of. All right. And now this is going to be overcomplicated, so try to stick with me, but it'll help later on if we do other shapes. If I number these corners 1, 2, 3, and 4, we can see how they're all connected. And if I label the back corners A, B, C, you can tell which letter we're missing. We're missing D, and hopefully already you can kind of tell where D should be. It should be the segment here between A and D and C. And if we line up our ruler correctly with parallel lines, and we push back this one to letter C, and we make a solid line, and then we line it up with the vertical, and we push it, keeping it parallel to A, it should all connect on this dotted line with parallel lines to make that back corner D, A, B, C, D. If it doesn't quite connect, it might mean that some of your lines are off. They don't go directly to the vanishing point. They might be a little bit crooked or not perfectly parallel. So you have to check that yourself to make sure that you've done everything correctly so that it lines up. This little dotted line in here could be erased later, as well as the outside lines, but that would be the correct way to make a see-through cube. I'll do one more up here the same way. Connect the last corner that you haven't connected with a dotted dashed or otherwise light line. And then make sure you have some parallel lines that you can connect. If we do it 1, 2, 3, 4, our back corner back here would be A, B should be over here somewhere, C and D. So now we have to make B by making sure we have parallel lines. So I'm going to line up this side, keeping it parallel till we get to the corner of C, make a vertical line up, and then line up my ruler with 1, 2, keeping it parallel, pull it down, and if we've done everything correctly, it should line up. So we have D. This is just a little further in the back. We can connect this back corner because we'll need that. It's a solid line up until D, and then erase this little line here. We don't need that or anything on the outside. So that's another see-through cube. I lied, I think I'll do this one too so you can see it. We haven't connected these corners yet, but we'll need to make it see-through. And yours might be a little bit different looking if yours is a little bit off and not in the same spot as mine. But I've connected those back corners. If I label the front of the square 1, 2, 3, 4, those corners, right now I'd have C and D for the back corners. I'm going to need A and B back here somewhere. So I'm going to line up 1, 4, and I'm keeping it parallel. This is a vertical line. I'm pushing it back until I hit my target D, pushing it back, keeping it parallel, and I'm going to go vertically up to here, and this can get connected. And then if I line up my ruler with 2, 3, I'm going to push it back until I get to C. 2, 3, pushing it back, keeping it parallel to C, and have a vertical line going up to the dotted line. This corner connected. And then I should have a straight line across if I've done it correctly. It looks like I might have to adjust a couple little things to make it perfectly connect. This should be a perfect corner right here. I could tweak things a little bit. This dotted line and this dotted line can get erased, but that's what a see-through cube generally looks like right above the vanishing point. So feel free to do the other one over here where we'd connect these two corners to the vanishing point and make it see-through somewhere in here. The goal is to make the same shape in the back as the front, but just a little bit smaller, because as you get further away from the front, closer to the vanishing point, objects should get smaller as they go off into the distance. So this rectangle is about the same as this one, just a little bit smaller in the back.